The ballroom glittered with crystal chandeliers and champagne towers, a sea of designer suits and dresses swirling beneath soft golden light. Alexander Mitchell stood in the shadows, scanning faces with practiced precision. His eyes followed Oliver Cartwright through the crowd as the young tech heir graciously accepted handshakes and pleasantries from Chicago's elite. The charity gala benefiting LGBT youth had drawn the city's wealthiest patrons, but Alex's focus remained solely on his employer. 3 months as Oliver's driver had taught Alex to read the room differently than most. His years in Secret Service hadn't faded the muscle memory of threat assessment lingering like phantom limbs. He noticed the waiter immediately. Something was wrong in the man's movement, shoulders too tight, eyes fixed on Oliver's untouched champagne flute. Alex's pulse quickened as Oliver reached for the glass, smiling at a silver-haired investor. The distance between them collapsed in 4 swift strides. No time to shout. No time to explain. Alex's hand wrapped around Oliver's wrist, pulling him close. Their lips met in a desperate collision, Alex stealing the champagne from Oliver's mouth into his own. The room froze in collective shock. Oliver shoved him back, eyes blazing with confusion and fury, hand already rising to deliver a slap. But Alex tasted it, bitter metallic burn spreading across his tongue. Poison. "What the hell?" Oliver hissed, the words barely audible above the scandalized murmurs rippling through the crowd. Alex's throat tightened, vision already blurring at the edges. "Need to talk," he managed, the words slurring as he gripped Oliver's arm and pulled him toward the exit. Something in his expression must have registered because Oliver stopped resisting and followed him into an empty corridor. "Your champagne was poisoned," Alex whispered, leaning heavily against the wall. "Saw the waiter. Something wrong. The way he looked at you." Disbelief flashed across Oliver's face. "You expect me to believe you kissed me because you thought I was being poisoned?" But then his eyes fixed on Alex's swelling lips, the blisters forming at the corners of his mouth, the uncontrollable watering of his left eye. "Oh my God," Oliver breathed, reaching for his phone. "We need to get you to a hospital." Alex caught his wrist. "Not yet. Whoever poisoned you will disappear if we call 911. The corridor tilted dangerously. "I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" As darkness crept across his vision, Alex's thoughts drifted to Michael, his husband's smile on their wedding day, his laugh, the way he'd held their son Noah the day they'd brought him home. The memory of Michael's lifeless body after the accident flooded back, along with a singular clarity he wouldn't let Oliver become another person he failed to protect. In the blur of the next hour, Oliver called Rachel Mitchell, Alex's old friend and doctor who had helped him through Michael's death. As she worked to stabilize him, Alex revealed the truth. He wasn't just a driver, but former Secret Service, once assigned to protect a president who championed LGBT rights, a role where he'd kept his own sexuality hidden from colleagues. "My father hired you, didn't he?" Oliver asked softly. "He knew exactly who you were." In those moments between consciousness and darkness, Alex felt the weight of secrets and sacrifice. Sometimes protecting others meant risking everything, even your heart. If this story of unexpected courage and connection resonates with you, don't forget to like and subscribe to Heartstories for more tales that remind us heroism comes in many forms. Sometimes the most profound acts of bravery happen when we dare to be ourselves while saving others. Rachel's quick intervention had stabilized Alex, but the poison still worked through his system. Morning light spilled through the windows of Oliver's penthouse as they pieced together the fragments of truth. The apartment surprised Alex. No ostentatious displays of wealth, just clean lines, comfortable furniture, and walls covered in photographs. It felt like a home. "My father told me to trust you if anything happened," Oliver said, scrolling through his late father's digital archive. "I thought he was being paranoid." Alex winced as he shifted position on the couch. "Your father contacted me 2 weeks before he died, said he discovered something concerning at the company." His voice softened. "He also knew about Michael, my husband. Said he respected how I handled myself during the Morrison administration, despite the pressure to stay closeted in Secret Service. Oliver's fingers paused over the keyboard. Dad never mentioned hiring you specifically. He just said he'd put protections in place. He wanted discretion, someone with my background, but without obvious connections to security agencies. Alex checked his phone, a text from the neighbor watching Noah. His son had nightmares again. I have to call my son. Oliver's expression softened. Go ahead. Take your time. Alex stepped onto the balcony, the Chicago skyline spreading before him as he dialed home. Noah's small voice answered immediately. Daddy, where are you? Working, buddy. Remember I told you I might stay late. How was school? A pause. Tommy said I'm weird for having two dads. Said now one's gone. I'm still not normal. Alex's chest tightened, pain sharper than any poison. Noah, listen to me. There's nothing wrong with our family. Tommy's just repeating things he's heard without understanding. But he said, sometimes people fear what's different. That doesn't make them right. Alex swallowed hard. I'll be home soon, promise. We'll build that rocket model together. Returning inside, Alex found Oliver staring at his father's calendar. There's an entry here 2 weeks before Dad died. JW audit confidential. No location, no details. James Winters, Alex said. Your father mentioned an accountant he'd hired to look into financial irregularities. Oliver was already searching contact registries. Nothing in our current files, but Dad kept an old-school address book. He disappeared briefly, returning with a leather-bound book. Here, James Winters, forensic accountant. The call to Winters revealed the full scope. Richard Donovan, CFO and close friend to Oliver's father, had embezzled nearly $50 million through offshore accounts in shell corporations. More disturbing was Winters' testimony that Robert Cartwright had confronted Richard 3 days before his sudden heart attack. Richard has always been vocal against our company's LGBT initiatives, Oliver said quietly. Called them unnecessary political statements in board meetings. Dad overruled him every time. The next morning, they visited the bank where Robert Cartwright kept a safe deposit box. Inside lay the complete forensic report in a handwritten letter. Oliver, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Richard has betrayed us. Trust Alexander Mitchell. He's not just an excellent protector, but understands what we face as allies to the community. Be careful. Love, Dad. Oliver's hands trembled. Richard was my father's best friend for 20 years. Betrayal usually comes from those closest to us, Alex replied, the weight of his own loss heavy in his words. Trust requires vulnerability. That's why it hurts so much when it's broken. Later that evening, as they formulated their plan, Oliver asked the question that had been lingering between them. How do you do it, balance this life with raising Noah alone? Alex's gaze drifted to the photo of his son on his phone screen. One day at a time, sometimes I fail at both. But Noah deserves a father who shows him that living authentically isn't just about survival, it's about thriving, despite the world telling you that you don't belong. In that moment, something shifted between them, a recognition that their connection went deeper than employer and protector. Both understood what it meant to navigate spaces never designed for them, to carry responsibilities that seemed impossible to balance, and to fight systems built to exclude their existence. The plan took shape with military precision. Jason Davidson, Alex's former Secret Service colleague, agreed to help despite their complicated history. Alex remembered the day Jason had discovered his sexuality, the uncomfortable silences, the changed locker room dynamics, the subtle distancing. Now, as they prepared surveillance equipment in Oliver's study, Jason's discomfort remained visible but tempered with growing respect. You really drink poison for this guy? Jason asked, testing the wire they'd used to record Richard's confession. I did my job, Alex replied simply. Jason's eyes lingered on the photo of Noah on Alex's phone. Michael would be proud. Kid looks just like him. The acknowledgement, small yet significant, marked a shift between them. Professional respect gradually replacing personal judgment. Oliver's message to Richard was carefully crafted, a request to meet privately about sensitive matters regarding my father's files. Richard suggested his office after hours. Come alone, he'd specified. He's confident, Alex observed. Men like that believe they are untouchable. The Cartwright Technologies building stood illuminated against the night sky. Most offices dark except for the executive floor. Richard Donovan waited in his corner office, silver-haired and distinguished in an expensive suit. His smile faltered when he saw Alex enter behind Oliver. I thought I said come alone, Richard said, eyes narrowing. Oliver moved with surprising confidence. After what happened at the gala, I don't go anywhere without security. Richard gestured to the chairs across from his desk. So, you found some of your father's files. What exactly did you discover? Everything, Oliver said, placing a folder on the desk. The offshore accounts, the embezzlement, the shell corporations, $50 million over 7 years. Richard didn't touch the folder, his expression carefully neutral. Those are serious accusations based on what could easily be fabricated documents. Your father became paranoid in his final months. Paranoid enough to hire a forensic accountant, Oliver countered. Paranoid enough to leave evidence in a safe deposit box. Even if these allegations were true, Richard leaned back. What exactly do you hope to accomplish? You have no actual proof linking me to any wrongdoing. I came to offer a deal, Oliver said. 20 million transferred to an account of my choosing. You retire citing health concerns. We never speak of this again. Richard studied Oliver, calculation evident in his eyes. 20 million is significant. What makes you think I have that kind of liquidity? You stole 50. Oliver replied coldly. I'm letting you keep 30. Richard's laugh was unexpected, sharp and bitter. You could go to the bait, but then what? I have lawyers, Oliver, friends in high places, ways to make problems disappear. His gaze flicked to Alex. Your father thought he was untouchable too. Look how that turned out. The confession hung in the air. Oliver's face paled. So you admit it. You killed him. I admit nothing. Richard shrugged. But hypothetically, if someone were embezzling and the owner discovered it, that person might need to protect themselves. It's just business. Nothing personal. Nothing personal, Oliver repeated. You murdered my father, your best friend, and it was just business. What about the gala? Alex interjected, stepping forward. Was that business too? Richard's expression remained unchanged. The gala was unfortunate. You weren't supposed to come back from it, Oliver, but your driver here, he nodded toward Alex, proved more observant than anticipated. His eyes narrowed. Who are you really? Certainly not just a chauffeur. Former Secret Service, Alex replied. Presidential detail? Something shifted in Richard's eyes, recalculation of the threat. Then he noticed the subtle bulge beneath Oliver's jacket. Recording this conversation, really, Oliver? Richard stood, moving toward his desk drawer. This meeting is over. He pulled out a gun with practiced ease. You stupid boy. Your father at least had the good sense to confront me privately. Alex moved instantly, positioning himself between Oliver and the weapon. Security's already on their way, he said calmly. FBI right behind them. There's always a way out, Richard replied, backing toward the door. I just need a head start. They followed Richard's escape to the parking garage, where Jason and FBI agents had surrounded all exits. Trapped. Richard attempted to reverse his car, only to find more vehicles blocking him. As agents pulled Richard from his vehicle, Jason caught Alex's eye across the garage, offering a small nod of respect. Oliver's hand found Alex's, squeezing tight. We got him, he whispered. We actually got him. In the aftermath, as they gave statements to federal agents, Alex witnessed something remarkable in Oliver, not just grief or relief, but transformation. The kind that comes from facing your deepest fears and emerging stronger. The same transformation Alex had undergone when he finally stopped hiding who he was, even when it cost him colleagues' respect and professional opportunities. That night, driving back to Oliver's penthouse, the silence between them felt different charged with possibility and unspoken questions about what would come next. Now that the immediate danger had passed, 3 months transformed Cartwright Technologies. Oliver had navigated the scandal with remarkable poise, implementing new financial controls and transparency measures that actually strengthened investor confidence. The company's stock, after an initial dip, now traded higher than before. But the most significant changes happened beneath the surface. In the relationships forged through crisis, Alex settled into his role as security director, his office adjacent to Oliver's. The transition wasn't smooth. Several board members had questioned his qualifications, wondering aloud if his appointment stemmed from personal connection rather than merit. Their skepticism often masked thinly veiled prejudice. "We need someone with corporate security experience," Gregory Walsh had argued during Alex's first executive meeting. "Not just government background." Alex had met his gaze steadily. "My team prevented 3 separate corporate espionage attempts in the aerospace division last month. Would you prefer I detail those vulnerabilities here or privately?" The room had fallen silent. Oliver, watching from the head of the table, hadn't intervened. He understood that Alex needed to establish authority on his own terms. Noah's presence in the building became a familiar sight, the 7-year-old completing homework in Alex's office after school 3 days weekly. Initially shy around Oliver, Noah gradually warmed to him, especially after Oliver helped design a science project that won first place. "Dad, can Oliver come to the science fair?" Noah had asked, eyes bright with excitement. "If he's not busy," Alex had replied, catching Oliver's surprised smile. The science fair became their first public appearance together, not as employer and employee, but as something undefined yet unmistakable. Photographs appeared in local business publications, Cartwright Technologies' CEO applauding alongside the security director as a beaming 7-year-old accepted his award. Oliver's most controversial move came 6 weeks after Richard's arrest, the establishment of a comprehensive LGBT employee resource group with actual budget and influence. During the press announcement, he'd looked directly at Alex. "This company stands for innovation, integrity, and inclusion, not as empty corporate values, but as lived principles." His voice had carried through the room with quiet authority. "My father understood that greatness comes from creating environments where people can bring their whole selves to work. Today, we honor his legacy by strengthening that commitment." Later that evening, in Oliver's office overlooking Chicago's skyline, Alex finally asked the question that had lingered between them. "Why me? You could have hired anyone after Richard's arrest." Oliver set down his glass. "Because you never asked me to be anything other than myself, even when you were literally taking poison meant for me." Something shifted in the air between them, the professional boundaries that had protected them both now feeling more like obstacles than safeguards. "Noah's staying with Rachel tonight," Alex said quietly. Oliver's smile held both vulnerability and certainty. "I know a place with excellent dinner and absolute privacy." That night, over candlelight and conversation, they finally acknowledged what had been building since that desperate kiss at the gala. Not just attraction, but a recognition of similar souls shaped by different struggles. Oliver navigating the complex intersection of privilege and prejudice as an openly gay CEO. Alex balancing professional duty with personal authenticity and fatherhood. "To unexpected beginnings," Oliver offered, raising his glass. Alex's smile held the weight of past loss and present possibility. "And to being seen for who we really are." In the soft glow of the restaurant's private dining room, both men recognized they were building something neither had quite believed possible. Again, trust formed in the crucible of danger, deepened through shared purpose, and now blossoming into something neither was ready to name, but both were brave enough to explore. The envelope arrived at Alex's office exactly 6 months after Richard's conviction. Plain manila, no return address, hand-delivered to reception. Inside was a single photograph, Michael's car, the night of the accident, taken from an angle police photographers had missed. Written on the back in precise block letters, "Richard Donovan wasn't working alone. The Guardians are still watching you." Alex stared at the image, ice spreading through his veins. For 3 years, he'd investigated his husband's death until exhaustion forced him to stop, knowing it wasn't really an accident, but lacking proof. Now someone was confirming his suspicions, but why? And who were the guardians? He didn't tell Oliver immediately. Instead, that evening after Noah was asleep, Alex retrieved a locked file box from his closet. Inside lay Michael's accident report, insurance documents, and Alex's own investigation notes. Spreading them across the dining table, he added the new photograph, its existence reshaping everything he thought he knew. 2 days of discreet research revealed disturbing connections. The Guardians appeared to be a shadow organization with ties to several Cartwright Technologies board members, Gregory Walsh chief among them. Their mission statement, buried deep in encrypted forums, preserving traditional American values in corporate leadership. Alex discovered they had vehemently opposed Robert Cartwright's final project, a secure communication platform for LGBT youth in crisis. A platform Oliver had recently revived and expanded. When he finally showed Oliver the photograph and his findings, they sat together in silent contemplation of what it meant. "They killed your husband," Oliver whispered, "because of his connection to me." "No," Alex corrected gently. "Michael died because I was investigating financial irregularities at my previous assignment, irregularities that apparently led back to the Guardians. They didn't want a Secret Service agent connecting those dots." Oliver's hand covered his. "What do we do now?" "Most people would run," Alex said. "Change names. Disappear." "We're not most people," Oliver replied, determination hardening his features. "They've taken enough from both of us." Their moment of solidarity shattered with Alex's phone ringing Noah's school principal. His blood froze at her words. A man had approached Noah at recess, shown him a photo of Michael, and told him, "Your daddy has secrets about your other daddy." The school's security cameras captured only a partial image of the man's face, but it was enough. Gregory Walsh's assistant. That night, as Noah slept between them on Oliver's oversized couch, exhausted from fear and confusion, Alex and Oliver whispered strategies across the child's sleeping form, not just for survival, but for exposing the entire organization. "I've spent my life protecting others," Alex murmured, looking down at Noah's peaceful face. "First the president, then anonymous clients. Now you and the company. But this is different. This is personal." Oliver nodded. They made it personal the moment they approached Noah. In the soft lamplight, Alex studied the photograph in his hand, Michael smiling on their wedding day. Noah cradled between them. Then he looked at Oliver, who had somehow become essential to their lives in just months. "We're going to find every one of them," Alex promised, "and make sure they never hurt another family." As dawn broke over Chicago, Alex's phone chimed with an email notification. The subject line made his heart stop. "Michael Mitchell is alive. What would you do if faced with a conspiracy threatening everything you love? How far would you go to protect your family, both the one you lost and the one you are building?" Sometimes the greatest courage isn't in facing danger, but in allowing yourself to hope again, despite past tragedy. If this story of resilience and unexpected second chances touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Heartstories for more tales that remind us love perseveres even in the darkest circumstances. Our stories continue just like Alex's, with courage, hope, and the family we choose.